Morning, I'm Tim Lane. I'm co-chair of the board of directors for Outright.
Hi everybody, we're going to get started. I'm Amie Bishop, the other co-chair of Outright's board of directors.
So I want to welcome everyone and thank you all for being here, with particular thanks to the Sorensen Center for International Peace and Justice for co-organizing this event with us, and to CUNY Law School for hosting us. Thank our sponsors, Logo TV, and our volunteers and staff from Outright who have organized a really special day for us. And thank you especially to those of you activists from all over the world who have traveled so far to be here. It's really great to be with you.
Thanks. So just quickly, what we're hoping today, well, first of all, we certainly hope today will be a day of inspiration for all of us. We really want to spend some time talking about how we sustain our movement, how we strengthen resilience, especially in the face of recent challenges, and how we maintain our hope in the face of those challenges. We don't know exactly what we're up against in the coming year in any of our countries, and certainly with the influence of the U.S. election and what that means. But I hope that today will be a source of inspiration and hope and strength for all of us. So without further ado, I'm quite honored to be able to introduce the Dean of the CUNY Law School, Mary Lou Bilek.
Thank you. Special thank you to Outright Action International, to Jessica Stern, its executive director, to the board members who are here, to its staff, for organizing this event and for giving us the privilege of having you all in this space doing the good work that you do. I'm very honored that that the U.S. LGBTI Special Envoy Randy Barry is going to be here, that Amir Ashur is going to be speaking, but I guess I'm most excited about seeing all of you from around the world in this room coming together to figure out how to move forward and how to continue to move forward to make the world better for everyone. Because I can't have a mic without talking a little bit about the law school, I'm going to tell you one or two things. So this law school, whose mission is to provide access to legal education for communities underrepresented in the profession, and to graduate ethical, competent, creative, social justice and public interest lawyers, has for many years called itself the premier public interest law school in the country, and we knew that. But I'm pleased to tell you there's external validation. Pre-Law Magazine calls us the #1 law school for public interest in the country, and the National Law Journal has done a survey that indicates that we are #1 in placing our grads in public interest and social justice jobs. We are the #2 law school in the country for diversity and inclusion. And U.S. News & World Reports ranks our clinical programs #3 in the country. The reason I mention that is because so much of the work that you do is connected, I hope, and will be intertwined in many ways with the work that we do both in the Sorensen Center for International Peace and Justice, which I'm so happy is a part of this law school, and with our International Right and Gender Justice Clinic. I am so proud of the fact that in collaboration with some of you, we have given our students opportunities to work on shadow reports to UN treaty bodies, to work on a report on Iraq, co-organizing events addressing the persecution of women and LGBTI persons by ISIS, and cooperating in training and strategy sessions with Iraqi and Syrian partners. In an earlier iteration, this clinic, its faculty and students played a pivotal role in establishing the recognition of rape as a crime of genocide and torture. This school has a deep history of inclusion across LGBTI persons. And just a few little facts. In 2005, the school held a mandatory training for all its staff and faculty on transgender discrimination. Its students and the administration worked together that year to change university rules to permit students and grads to correct their gender identity on official records. I am proud to be in a law school where every student can find a bathroom that they feel comfortable in, and where we have a robust, vital LGBTI student and faculty community. The law school used to be in a middle school in Queens, and we kind of prided ourselves on the fact that we could be in the back of a grocery store sitting on boxes and do the social change work that we wanted to do, and that might be a more appropriate way for our students to understand what it was going to be like to do the work they did in the future. When we moved to this building, we were worried. We were worried because of the corporate monolith that is next door. And we were worried because of its glass and steel, sterile atmosphere. But what I know for sure is that every time we get a group of people like you in this room, doing the work in this building, doing the work that you do, you begin to change the energy and the karma of the building. And what I hope for our students is that, although not many of them can be here because we're in the middle of finals, that the energy and the spirit of the work that you do and of the passion you have for making the world better for everyone by making the world fairer for LGBTI people will infuse their studies, whether they're studying the Uniform Commercial Code or whether they're in a class on civil disobedience. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Dean Bilek. So now it is my pleasure to introduce the Deputy Executive Director of Outright Action International, Maria Sjödin.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here and spending your Saturday in Queens at a conference that feels, I don't know, maybe it's already cliche, but more important than ever. And we're going to start, I'm going to kick off now. We're going to have a greeting from a special friend of us who, to me, and I think to many of you in this room, at this moment embodies some of the hope that we're going to need in the coming years. And because we all know that we need data and we need champions on our side.
Warm greetings to everyone at Outright Action International. I'm very, very pleased to be able to touch base with you today. First of all, many, many thanks to all NGOs, civil society, governments, other stakeholders worldwide for supporting the mandate on the sexual orientation and gender identity. The UN independent experts mandate is now established and it is based on international law. And the credit of all the efforts is really due to all of you out there who've been very supportive of the movement to have this mandate to protect people worldwide from violence and discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. I thank you very, very warmly worldwide from the very, very depth of my heart. Thank you very much. I'd like to say a few things about the mandate so that you will see the flow of my thoughts in terms of implementing the mandate for the United Nations. The mandate of the UN independent expert on protection against violence and discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity is vested with the task of preparing reports analyzing the situation for the United Nations, for New York and Geneva. And I would hope that the first report will be done, presented by June of this coming year, followed by another one several months later. Secondly, the mandate is vested with the power to receive complaints, communications from persons affected by violations worldwide. And I look forward very much to particularly set up a system at the OHCHR, the UN arm of human rights, so that people can touch base with the mandate easily. And thirdly, I also hope under the mandate to visit countries so as to learn from the field and link up with people at the field level so that we can use examples, good practices, case studies and so on to share with the world at large. And I would like to visit a variety of different countries, balancing between developed and developing countries worldwide. So that is the mandate in short, and I look forward very much to touch base with you directly or indirectly worldwide so as to feed into this process of ensuring the promotion and protection of human rights worldwide, particularly in regard to sexual orientation and gender identity. Lastly, I would just note that today, United Nations agencies worldwide have been expanding their reach to cover not only LGBT, lesbians, gays, bi and trans, but increasingly also to cover intersex issues. And this is an area that I look forward to exploring, particularly with the groups themselves, so as to ensure that we provide a value added to help everyone in all countries. With that, I wish you a great conference. Thank you very, very much again for all the love and support you've provided. I wish you all the best for the future. As the French say, bon courage, happy courage, good courage and more courage for everyone worldwide. Have a wonderful conference, great life, great commitment to human rights worldwide, and thank you very, very much for being a great support to this mandate, for which I will work to the best of my ability. Thank you very much.
I'm a little envious of those of you who saw Professor Vitit in Bangkok live. I hear he was amazing. He unfortunately had to be elsewhere in the world today and couldn't join us. And many of us know that we might still have to fight to keep the mandate because it looks like it's going to be challenged in the General Assembly, maybe even in the 5th committee, which deals with budgets. And to me, I always look at it when sort of those who are against our rights, when they pick the fight, when they show up, I take it as a proof that they know that what they are taking the fight about is important. And to me, this makes Professor Vitit's mandate even more important, because those who want to deny us our rights, they think it's important enough to take the fight first at the Human Rights Council, then in the General Assembly 3rd Committee, in the General Assembly, and possibly even in the Budgetary 5th Committee. So they are taking the fight over and over again to prevent him from being able to do his work. And to me, that is one of the proofs that actually what he can achieve and what this mandate means is incredibly important to all of us. We're going to move on, and I'm going to introduce the moderator for our first plenary panel, which is going to be a little bit of history of our movement. Looking backwards, Outright Action International is turning 26 this year, which I think for an organization working on international LGBTIQ rights is pretty old, but we all know that our movements go back even further than that. So I'm going to welcome Anya Duggan, board member of Outright Action International and executive director of Glen in Ireland. So please, Anya, and